Have you ever felt like you're a character in a bad story? Like all those dreams you had as a child have not lived up to the expectations you once had? When you were a child and you were dreaming about your life and you thought, I'm going to have these heroic accomplishments, or I'm going to leave my mark on the world. But now you find yourself working a job that you're probably largely unsatisfied with. You look forward more to the weekends or the vacation than actually going in every day and punching the clock. How did we get here? I mean, if we're honest, we didn't dream of largely being unsatisfied, and yet for many of us, that's where we find ourselves. We're in these situations where we look for little micro escapes, whether that's through relationships or through a movie or a book, whether that's vicariously through our children. We find these ways to almost exist within a better story. I don't think that is a coincidence. I think that's a design characteristic that we all have, because largely we were created for a better story. But somewhere along the lines, we deviated from the path. We kind of went off on our own route, and we decided, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to do this my own way. And that's led to a lot of pain and depression, anxiety, just an absence of peace, broken relationships. So how do we get back the pen and the paper so that we can write ourselves a better ending? Is there even a way to do that? What if I told you that there is a better story? What if I told you that you're not too far gone to be included in this better story? What if I told you that this better story is the greatest story ever told, still being written even now? What if I told you that you and I are vital components or vital individuals of this story? What if our story up until this point can be completely righted and we can actually find ourselves in not a bad story of being unsatisfied and not having peace, but find ourselves in a story of joy and happiness and laughter and accomplishment and purpose? How do we get into that story? Well, there's one answer. His name is Jesus. But chances are you've heard about him, and you might think, oh, okay, here it comes, the Bible. That book that sits on a shelf and often collects dust because it's a book of rules and regulations. For many of us, we treat the Bible as if it's like a textbook, when in reality, it's a storybook. And within that storybook, there are individuals who thought that they were also existing in a bad story. But somehow, through this thing called grace, their story was righted and they are included in the best story ever told. They learned how to embrace a better story. And so if you're in a situation where you feel like you're this character that's going through this story that doesn't look like it's headed towards a good ending, I want to invite you to come to the Alpharetta Seventh-day Adventist Church, because we as a church are committed to helping you embrace that better story.